This is the Clockworks license plate frame. We're going to French in for the fender, the holes that we already drilled. I'm going to remove the license plate off of here, and then we have to do just a little bit of trimming to make it fit in the pocket for the 180 fender.
This here template that came along with the fender to drill the holes for the license plate is the same template you can use to trim the license plate to fit into this. Once you get it laid out where you want her to be, you just pull that off, throw it on the floor. Garbage. Stick your loom on there, nice and tight.
Alright, as you see, Jason and Chris were in the process of expertly mounting this oval LED tail light. I just wanted to point out one thing to you. If you'll see, it is mounted in what we call our Clockworks oval tail light mount ring. Kind of self-explanatory as to what it is. But how we do it, it's a ring that is either available through Clockworks to fit in your fender by yourself at home or by your fabrication guy, or we also offer the service. What happens is an oval hole is cut in the fender, then a 1/4 inch thick ring is welded into the fender that allows a nice flat place for the taillight to mount to. It also offers a little structural rigidity to the fender, plus it spaces that out a little bit to make sure you have ample tire clearance on the back side. And usually after we weld it in, or some of our customers weld it in, it just takes just a very small amount of body filler on there at your paint shop, coat of primer, and it molds in pretty nicely.
Okay, right now we're going to cut these bolts off because they have quite a few threads showing. You don't want your tire to hit that, so we're going to cut all 8 bolts off, just right at the nut. So make sure you wear your safety glasses.
We're going to install the fender now on this 180 Mo tire kit. We got our hardware laid out, and the back bolts, and the front bolts, and the washers, so everything's separated. We know how it goes. Make sure you follow your instructions so you get your spacers in the right spot and the right orientation that they belong. We always use a little Showtime or glass cleaner, spray along these rubber seals here to help slide the fender in, not to damage any paint. We left all this hardware here loose earlier in the video. That way when you're putting the fender in, you can spread it and play with it a little bit while you're getting the fender in. And once you get your bolts in and everything's in place, go ahead and go around and make sure you get all your bolts tightened up. Slide it through the hole. It has the same stamp as the factory one. Slide it through, then put your clip on.
Okay, now we're going to move on to the filler panel portion of the motorcycle. We always recommend to mount the lower fillers first, especially if they have a light or a marker light like Jason's do here. That way you can mount these, and I mount them loosely, and then once I mount the filler itself, you can run the wire up the frame and get it zip tied to the frame rail before the upper filler gets mounted. The fillers come with the supplied hardware, and I'll always use just a dab of red Loctite. They mount to the chrome saddlebag support rails that run alongside the fender. I'm going to slip the wire to the back side of the bracket that kind of holds it in away from the bag on the bottom side. So you see, as I run it up top, I'm going to run it along the top frame rail, and I'll leave some slack here, and as you see, I'll grab a few small zip ties and I'll zip tie it here and right here, and that will hold it out of the way, out of sight.
With the right length bolt, docking point, spacer through the filler, another spacer on the back side of the filler. I put Loctite on the bolt, slide it in place, being careful not to chip any paint. I'm going to install this rear hanger that goes all the way back. The spacer goes in between that bracket and the filler. After you have your lower fillers on, your top fillers, make sure that the spacing looks the same from side to side. And if both are the same from side to side, pretty good chance you have all your spacing correct. Leaving these loose, we'll set the bag on, set these in the right position, and tighten them up. Now that we have our fillers in place, our fender in place, I've ran the wires up to the battery box area. I've got the wire ends stripped here, and I'm going to tin each one of these ends, and I'll show you how to wire them in. After you're reading the instructions and you find what color matches to wear, go ahead and solder them on. Make sure you have heat shrink placed over it already. After you got all your wiring done, you're done with all that, you can go ahead and hook the battery cables back on. Plug your maxi fuse back in. Hook up all your things where they're labeled. This one is labeled plate. You'll plug it in. Plug in your right license plate or right marker light into where it says right. Plug your left into where it says left. Tail light into the main one. You have everything neatly put away nicely and make sure no pinch points. Zip tied, you can go ahead and put your seat back on.
Alright, got the new wheel laced up, the new tire mounted, ready to install.
On Jason's 180 kit, we're going to use a stock cush drive on this 2008 model. All the spacing will be correct. Just follow your torque specs in your service manual.
Okay, we've got Jason's wheel placed up under the bike. As you'll notice, we've kind of got it jacked up at a pretty severe angle. But a lot of times when you install the extended fenders on the bike, you got to jack them up a little bit more to get the tire up in there. Now that we've got it, the tire positioned in there with the cush drive pulley set on it, we slip the belt over the pulley, and now I will just carefully start lowering the bike down, making sure that I don't bind up the bike or swing arm onto the wheel or tire itself as I lower it. First thing I'm going to do here is slide in the factory rear brake caliper bracket. Once I get that slid into place, next thing I will put in is the stock right side or brake side wheel spacer. Okay, once again I'll install the right hand side axle adjuster, the eccentric cam plate. Install the nut finger tight. Once again, we set the belt tension using the specs given to you in your Harley-Davidson service manual. Now we will torque down our axle nut to factory specs and install our C-clip or our safety clip on the end. And then all that's left for the wheel section is to reinstall the rear caliper.
After you get your wheel in place, you'll want to install the brake caliper pad. Sometimes you have to remove your pads to get the brake caliper in there better. Sometimes you don't have to. After you get that done, spin the wheel a couple times, make sure everything spins free and there ain't no binding. And after this process, we can put our muffler on, put our bags on, and go test ride. Once you have your bags positioned where you want, go ahead and tighten up the 2¼ inch bolts and hold the bag in place.
That's what the smell was in here?
We finished Jason's bike up yesterday. He was gone out of the shop. He had some pressing business outside in his secret life as a superhero. So he was at home for the day. He wanted us to wait to finish the bike, but Chris and I were so excited to see it finished that we just decided to finish it, and we're going to roll it off the lift right now. And Jason should be here in a little bit, and we'll get his reaction to his finished motorcycle. Hey Jason, how you doing?
You guys finished it! Oh my god! Oh, thanks, guys.